Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this is some of my footage from PAX East last weekend. Far Cry 3 had one of the bigger, more impressive booths there, and one of the promotions they were doing, if you were willing to get a haircut like this guy Voss, which is this crazy mohawk, then they gave you a free copy of the game. So check out these guys. This booth, there was like a line around the corner for all these people willing to get mohawks for their free copy of the game. I thought that was a pretty neat promotion idea. But I also got a chance to play the game. I didn't play the single player at all, and I only played one game mode in multiplayer, and it was this one. It's called Assault. And if you look at the scoreboard at the top, you can kind of get a feel for what Assault is. There's 3 bases in there, and you know, much like Domination, I guess I'll just say it. If you have 2 of the bases, then the ticker kind of goes in your direction. Instead of it going up to 200, it's kind of like a tug of war up until the time runs out. So that's how it works. And here you get an opportunity. Did you see that? That's the kill cam. The kill cam is a huge part in whether or not I like a multiplayer game, right? Because the kill cam is how I learn from my mistakes. I like to see what I look like to the enemy, right? You know, what kind of noob did I look like? What kind of pro did I look like? You know, did this guy get a lucky kill, or did this guy completely own me? The kill cam is how I figure out what I'm doing wrong and what I can do better. So that's a pretty big deal to me. And they've got an interesting kill cam that's not like any of the games that I've seen before, where it kind of like breaks it down and shows the line of sight and exactly, you know, what happened. It's even more instructive than, it's probably the most instructive kill cam I've seen in any of the first-person shooters that I've played so far. The one thing I always wonder is, you know, just how a game plays, right? When I listen to a review, that's the thing that I'm looking for from that guy. And you can see capping the headquarters right here, or the point, I don't know what to call it. But the game plays. So I found myself near my teammates a lot, right? It's multi-level. There's lots of flanking routes on the map. Here's another example of what that kill cam was like. And it's team-based, right? So your teammate can revive you. You see here this, like, cling to life. You can either, you know, go into your respawn mode and get brought back to life, like just happened there, or you can let it go and, like, almost coward's way out, if you're familiar with that. Instead of auto-healing, like you do in most of the other shooters that I'm familiar with, you inject yourself. So you have to, like, get some cover, give yourself a needle, and do your thing. And that changes the way that the game plays. Like, it's a little, I don't know, you just need some time to give yourself some health and get that back, as opposed to you just running and gunning and letting it happen on the way. It's a little bit like reloading. It's not like a big game mechanic, but it's there. And here's an example of I don't know, kill streak? I don't know what else to call it. But, yeah, see, dropping bombs right on that guy. It's kind of like an airstrike. The other thing that caught my attention in the game, and I don't know, maybe I'm a stickler for this more so than other games, is the colors. Like, do you look how vibrant this thing is? This is it's a game that I can look at for a long period of time. I like that animation, as opposed to one that that kind of gets you depressed and ragey and such. So I like that about it. Although, the weapons, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So I didn't really play a lot of different weapons. I don't know my way around this game like an expert would, but they have a lot of recoil. So that means that a lot of big recoil weapons do a couple of things. One, it allows you to move the map a little more, because you can evade, you can die, you can live a little bit, or you can avoid death, I mean to say, live a little bit longer and get to your cover. Whereas, you know, if guys are firing these like insta-death laser beams, then it really becomes about who gets on target first, who gets that first shot, as opposed to, you know, who's navigating the map in a really smart way. Another thing that that big recoil weapons do is, once you get familiar with it, and again, I'm new to this game, so we'll see if this turns out to be true in Far Cry, but once you get familiar with it, like, and you're good at pop shotting, like you see right here, then it increases the skill gap between you and maybe someone who just, you know, holds it down and goes fully auto and sprays the entire, you know, area down. So I also got a chance to interview one of the game developers, so I'm gonna fade into that and let you guys check out that interview and see what he has to say about the game. He talks about some features that I didn't get to see at all, but they're pretty cool. So anyway, check this out. All right, so I'm WoodysGamertag, and I'm here with a developer from Far Cry. You are?
Daniel Berlin.
Daniel Berlin. So what kind of like customer or user feedback have been incorporated into this version of the game?
So, I mean, the first thing you're going to be able to see is basically the colors back. I mean, that's been one of the things that people have been wanting for a long time, is basically to bring color back into the FPS. And Far Cry 1 had a lot of color, and working on the actual brand, we knew that they wanted more color in Far Cry 3. So definitely the colors from Far Cry 1 are back into Far Cry 3.
Nice, nice. So what advice would you give to players coming from another shooter? Like, how do you jump into Far Cry and be good at this game?
So, I mean, we didn't really want to reinvent the wheel in terms of just like the basic controllers that they're in. I mean, there's a very, I mean, it's important for players to basically just be able to pick up the controller and play, just like go and play. But we do have a number of specific features that are specific for Far Cry multiplayer, like the battle cry, that of course have a new input that you don't see in other games. But yeah, you're gonna be able to just like pick up the controller and play because it's yeah.
The controller thing's a big deal to me. You know, I might want to play another game and then Far Cry in the same day, and I hate it when, you know, I reload in one game and it's throw a grenade at my teammate in some other game, and it's yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
It's difficult jumping between them.
But what about the tactics, like, you know, the healing tactics and stuff like that? You know, those things aren't in the other games.
No, I mean, we do have the ability for everyone to revive everyone at any given time. We do have the battle cry. So basically what we do is, if you execute team play actions, such as the battle cries, reviving, taking points, or tagging enemies and stuff like that, we give you a resource that we call the team support points. And the team support points are then the points that give you access to the heavy guns that you can call in from off the map. For example, the psych gas, which is basically you call in a buddy in a helicopter and he swoops in and he pushes out a big barrel containing a chemical weapon that makes people go crazy. So they will look at their friends and they will look like dark demons with glowing eyes, and you will be able to shoot. They will just go crazy and shoot each other.
That sounds awesome. I wish I saw that. How does the in-game editor work?
I mean, it's basically the next iteration of the in-game editor that we had for Far Cry 2, so we've expanded on it. We're not going into exact detail right now on how it's functioning exactly, but we're going to have a lot of much more community service around the in-game editor, meaning that it's going to be easier for people to find maps that are good. And it's going to be easier for people who really like to make maps to actually get visibility for those maps. So if you're a good map maker, your map has a big chance of actually becoming a famous map.
That's a cool thing, right? That's been a big deal in the PC world for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it's for the PC, yes, but we're also releasing the in-game editor for the consoles, which is also a big thing.
Right. It adds to the game's life cycle when you can make your own maps as opposed to just coming from the developer.
So, I mean, if the customer or the gamers want more maps, they can just make them themselves.
That'll be pretty neat. That'll be pretty neat. All right. So thanks for coming out.
Well, thanks. I'm great to be here. It's awesome.